Hi, I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio, and welcome to the Mayor's Roundtable. Semi-roundtable, intelligent conversation all about what's happening here in Berkeley Heights, information that you need right away from the source, Mayor Robert Woodruff. Mayor, a lot's been going on in town, and specifically, let's get to what has been really fun and exciting. Berkeley Heights kind of changed last week. I mean, I really saw some things happening in the downtown area with the community, with the business, with the township committee, with different departments, with the school system even last week. It was phenomenal, and I'm referring to the Winter Walk.
Absolutely, Doc. And
what was your take on that?
Merry Christmas, Doc.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and a blessed New Year to everybody.
I think you summed it up, Doc. It was a fabulous day, beginning with Santa, who appeared right in here.
He came in from Nashville, I heard.
Nashville,
yeah,
right.
I heard that.
A little unusual place, but in any event, it was Santa, and then we had the tree lighting, and there were more people there, I think, than have ever been there before. And that went very successful. And then the Winter Walk followed, and that was a tremendous, tremendous night. And kudos to the local business people who really went out of their way and worked very hard. And Bobby Peer at Tap Into was very involved also and worked obviously at getting the information out. But they were all so tremendous at what they did, and it really, you could get a sense when you walked around that night that there was a real sense of pride. And but what's important is we need to continue that. Yeah. Okay. And that just not only from a standpoint of continue to volunteer, of continue to be a part of the community, but let's get out to our businesses in town. And let's get to the restaurants and let's do the right thing. Sure, sure. I mean, the bottom line is if we don't support our business community, there will be no business community. That's correct. Thank you for putting together. I know Sherry Anything Floral and Mitch from the hardware store were integral in the committee, but there are lots of businesses that were involved and Taylor Rental Halls. Watch the video. We got a great video on the Township website. All the sponsors are on there. And trade with them. Visit them. Support them because they supported us, but it was a great event. It was, Doc, and what I'd like to do tonight is kind of make this a year-end wrap-up. You can do that. So what's next then? Well, we have two very distinguished individuals here. Jean Kingsley, our council president, who's going to talk a little bit about the beautification, and she and I are going to talk about redevelopment. Okay. And then the equally distinguished John Basicolo is here tonight, and John's going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the town generally, and also speak to the affordable housing issue. Okay, great. And but in the meantime, some other things have occurred in town. Just by way of update, our police department's undergoing a bit of a changeover. Oh, really? I know we got a new chief. So what else is going on? John was sworn in a month or so ago, and he's kind of crafting the department, if you would, as to how he thinks it may be. And we've had 2 or 3 retirements. And all right. We're hiring a couple of young officers. We found out the other day that Sergeant Countryman has put in his retirement papers effective January 1. So we're going to have maybe within a span of about 2 years, 5 or 6 new police officers. Okay. Now, how does that impact the bottom line of the town? Let's get that's what people want to know. How's that going to impact the bottom line? Obviously, many of these men and they are all men who have retired, were at the top of the scale, so to speak. Okay. And there's a union contract which governs, and the union contract recently negotiated last year, which goes back a year before that. We negotiated with the police, and the starting salary is lower than it was before. Not too much, but we felt it was a contract, right? And we felt it was appropriate. So, so I think on balance, when you have older individuals who are at the top of the pay scale, and obviously if they move on, then you are replacing it with individuals who substantially less. There's going to be a savings. Now, eventually, they'll get up. Yeah. So it's cyclical. It's cyclical, and you can't go running and spending something that you don't have, you think you have now and may not have later. Yeah, so we have to look at that. Along the lines of the Winter Walk, obviously, which took place right across the street, we have the Veterans Memorial. Which, how's that coming along? That also is another example of the volunteerism in this town and what's occurred. Ted Romanko has spearheaded that, and we need about $110,000 or maybe $125,000, and Ted managed to get a $55,000 grant from the county, which the county would match. And I understand that we're extremely close to that amount just simply by the people in this town writing checks. So reach out,
reach out to
Correct.
the Veterans Memorial Committee. That's under the subdivision of the Beautification Committee, or is that their own
Well,
thing?
no, it's their own. It's their own entity, so to speak.
Okay.
But obviously, it's all tied in because what they're doing is consistent with our Beautification Committee with respect to the bricks and the benches and so on and so forth. So we want that theme to run through the whole town, and we appreciate their their cooperation with respect to that. Another item which is come up once or twice, I attended a meeting last night in regards to the Pilgrim Pipeline, which is to some towns, well, there's 39 towns technically involved, meaning the pipeline would come through any one of those towns. Maybe there was 15 towns represented at Florham Park. It is a significant undertaking, and
well, how would it impact us?
well,
How's it looking?
it's-
Where are we with this pipeline?
there's a couple theories of thought as to how soon and where that is timing-wise. They're still in New York, and they haven't gotten to the New York border. So if they get to the New York border, it's folly to think they're not going to come across. Okay.
Washington.
Right, they're coming across. So originally they had the right-of-way of PSE&G, but PSE&G is balked for other reasons, and that's not available to them. What happens there, quite simply, is this pipeline comes through, and it will come through certain areas of Berkeley Heights.
Oh, it will.
Yes, and impact certain individuals', let's say, backyards or site,
Easements.
line of sight easements, and what have you. So there's a concern, obviously. Not only, I mean, the aesthetics are the least of the concern because you're running crude oil down to Linden, where it will be refined and then sent back to Albany. Okay, that's kind of how it goes. All right?
Sounds like a government job.
Well, it is a government job.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, not really. The government controls it because it's not only the state, but it's also the feds because there is Linden has a port down in there, so you're going to it's near a port, and you're going to have the feds control that. So we're trying to stay up on that.
Do we get any financial remuneration for this, or is this
Absolutely
strictly
not.
goodness of our heart?
Well, well, I shouldn't say that because I know when PSE&G came through, there was a minor amount of monies that were exchanged.
There's no tax abatements. It's not a
no,
pilot program.
oh, no,
We're
no.
not getting anything of significance.
Well, no, and we're not going to go out and purchase anything extensive based on what that's all about.
Okay.
So we don't consider it. But there's more to come. There is a meeting scheduled in January on the Pilgrim Pipeline, so maybe we'll have some more information then.
All right, well, sounds like a plan. Lots going on as always, and I appreciate the update on the Veterans Memorial and the Pilgrim Pipeline. And we're going to have Mr. Basicolo, Township Administrator, on next, so everybody can stay tuned because I know he's got a lot to talk about. So that'll be the next segment, but we're going to take a short break, and we're going to hear from one of the local communities in town that's involved with a little bit different perspective of our history. I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio with the Mayor's Roundtable, and we'll be right back. Berkeley Heights has a lot going on by volunteers, making this a community. And one of the things it does is it looks at our past, where we've been, and the wonderful history here. Let's talk about that with our members from the Historical Committee. Julie Ronner, Dan Palladino, thanks for your time today. Julie, tell us a little bit about the Berkeley Heights Historical Committee.
Well, we're a small committee right now, but we are certainly looking for new members. We're very active in the Littell Lord Farmhouse Museum and the 18 acres of property that we have. We're looking to build programs, a sense of volunteerism, and to improve the property and the function of what we have already.
That was 18 acres. Dan, where are these 18 acres?
The 18 acres is on the corner of Horseshoe Avenue and Mountain Avenue. That 18 acres, there's some open fields, some buildings, and a good stand of trees, which were used for a variety of purposes way back when. The original house was built, property was purchased and built in 1760. And it has been continuous use until the township purchased the property in 1975 with the original Historical Society. And the original Historical Society started to do a lot of work to spruce it up and things. We have the oldest spring house, what we call a spring house, in the entire county. It's oldest and functional spring house where they used to hang their meats and cheeses and things for cold storage. That was the refrigerator in those days. And it is fed by a clear water running year-round spring, which also puts water into that little pond. And the police have the fishing derby there once a year, and there are other activities that go on. There's a second building that was built in the 1870s by the same family. related to the same family. So it is an ongoing active. As a matter of fact, we just received $5,000 grant from Union County to fix some of the back portion of it. There's some roof work that needs to be done. And we're looking for a lot of volunteers, craftsmen, artisans to help us along those ways.
Excellent. You know, I went to the Spring House once. It was phenomenal. If you've never seen the Spring House, go check it out. It's really cool. Julie, why the Historical Committee? Why did you get involved?
It's a beautiful property. It's very, very special. We have absolutely beautiful objects and artifacts within the museum. It's a charming house. It's a glimpse into the life in the early 19th century. It's a beautiful, beautiful property.
Well, we want it preserved. Dan?
Yes, we'd like to preserve that. We try to present life, especially to the school children, of what life used to be on a farm in those years. When we tell them that their job in those years used to be to go to the spring, put water in the buckets and bring it into the house 4 or 5 times a day for washing, cooking, whatever. Oh, they don't like that one, but we get a nice chuckle and a laugh out of that.
Well, there you go. It's all about supporting the Historical Committee. Get involved, reach out, let them know you want to make a difference. Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back to the show. It's the Mayor's Roundtable. And tonight we have our first guest, but I want to welcome our live audience. So everybody, thanks for coming out today. We really appreciate your attendance. Give yourselves a hand. Give yourselves a hand. So anyway, we always do film on the third Thursday of every night at 7 p.m. right here in City Hall. So come on down, join us. It's a lot of fun. Our Township Administrator, third-time guest.
Third time.
It's your hat trick, Mr. Pasicolo. Keeping with the theme of the show, what's been the update over 2015? What do we need to know?
Let me give you a quick rundown, Doc, if I may, what we accomplished this year. DPW, we had 368 tons of asphalt were put down in potholes. We did 50 storm inlets so far. Paving, we did 5 miles of paving in town. We did spring chipping. We did fall chipping. Bulk pickup was done. And our leaf pickup, we're almost finished with. That'll finish up about the end of next week. We should be done with leaf pickup. We're looking in, one of the things that we're doing is we're looking into every operation we do. Is there a better way that we can do it that's more efficient, better services? One of the things we're looking at is what's called a tin claw. It's basically a set of jaws, comes in and it scoops, picks everything up. We do brush pickup. Instead of having to do it by hand, we'll be able to pick up the entire bundle and put it in the garbage truck.
Much more efficient.
Much more efficient. It's going to help us tremendously. We had to fix the salt dome this year. We had some work done on that. The brine system is done and ready to go. We're looking forward. I shouldn't say we're looking forward to our first ice or snow, but we're looking forward to getting that out and seeing how it works. So that's ready to go. We put a new gate down at DPW. We had a damaged gate down there. We added, for recycle, food oil, scrap metal, cardboard, and metal. There's a bin down there. If anybody has one of those items, they're welcome to come down and leave them in the yard.
So that extra oil from those deep fried turkeys, they do have a place to
We
bring
have a place to put them. Yes, we do.
That's great.
We also ran 2 auctions, clean up any material that we had in the yard, such as vehicles that were either obsolete or were in an accident. We raised $17,000 on the government auction on that. It's called Gov Deals. We did that. We worked with the county to get the Passaic River, the de-snagging done there, which is complete now. We got as many snags as we were allowed to kind of get. We had to all share in it. So Berkeley Heights didn't get the vast majority, but we did get a bunch of snags cleaned up. We are looking at also doing some ourselves, because there are some that are still out there that do need to be done. We also did the apron at the firehouse, the air conditioning, the generator are all done. Tree trimming. We started doing tree trimming through town. It hasn't been done in a long time. We're trying to get that going. From the engineering department, did a lot of work with the CVS people in Lone Pine Drive, Runnels Hospital, and the hotel we worked on. Just a couple other little ones. The sewer department, they didn't have a whole lot going this year, luckily. We had one injury. We had a broken ankle. 2 notices that we had that we were over limits on some of the chemicals from DEP.
What does that mean?
Well, when you get done treating, it's tested constantly on a constant basis.
Before we release it
before
back
it gets
out
released.
into the
We had a couple incidents where we were a little high on some of the measurements.
Right.
We suffered 2 very small fines, fortunately. But that actually, in the scheme of things, was not terrible.
How's the volume? Were we having any problems with volume?
Not at all. We actually have excess capacity.
All right,
So we're in
great.
very good shape there.
That's important.
We also added one more employee at the sewer plant, because we only had 4. They're in teams of 2, so we're trying to get up to 6. So this way we have 3 teams of 2 that are able to work. That's basically all that's gone on in the sewer plant. On the rec department, they had an extremely busy year once again. They had over 500 children sign up for the K 7th grade summer playground camp in Lower Columbia. They also had 4 weeks of teen scene travel camp, grades 7 through 10. The Citizens Bus, they had regular schedules for some new trips for them, and also local shopping they've taken them to. Our rec department is extremely busy, provides a tremendous service for the town.
Big shout out to Tom Barton.
Tom Barton
Absolutely.
and this
Tom
group
doing-
there does a great job.
You're doing a great
Absolutely.
job, so keep it up. We really do appreciate
Yeah,
it. And, you know,
and they did some support also. Events that they didn't run but supported was there was 3 5Ks, the Rubber Ducky event, PAL event, GL events at Snyder Park, and the Winter Walk they were very involved
You know
with
what's
also.
great about Tom, too? I always grab him and say, hey, Tom, you want to talk about what you're doing and what's going on? He's like, no, Doc, I'm okay being
Yes.
just doing what I do. So he's one of those guys that carries a big stick. He's silent behind the scene, but
Yes,
gets it
he
done.
is.
So,
Yes, he does.
you know, it's
And
really
that's
shout
a
out.
pretty quick wrap-up of kind of what's gone on this past year.
You know, Mayor, I think you should follow his lead. That was a great report. So
There
really
you go.
short, sweet, and direct.
Short and
but,
sweet.
but I know there's other things that we have to talk to John about, right, Mayor?
Yeah, John is very involved in his role with respect to the affordable housing issue, which is an extremely significant issue in this town and many towns in the state, obviously subject to court decisions that have come down. We are now at what would otherwise be known as stage 3. It's an unusual situation. We're not sure where this is going. I don't think anybody understands necessarily where it's going, and because of that, it's kind of a matter of first impression.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and but we are under the auspices, the jurisdiction, if you would, of a judge in Union County. There is a master, and I want John to talk a little bit because John, in conjunction with Mike Mistretta, our township planner, and Joe Sordillo, our township council, have kind of been the front people with respect to dealing with the developers, being consistent in abiding by what the court wants. So, John, why don't you tell us a little bit?
The court has ordered us into mediation with several developers, so we've met with them, and basically it's an exchange of ideas. The court master is there. She's sitting kind of in between us, giving us some guidance, and our main goal is to make sure that the best interest of the town is always first in our minds. We have to get that across to developers and then see what they're looking for and try to come to a meeting somewhere. We've got one that we're fairly close on and one that we're still fairly far apart. So it's going to take some more time. But we were recently, as you had mentioned before, granted immunity until February 29th. But there are milestones that we need to meet. We got to keep the court informed of that. So we're meeting on at least once or twice every month. We've got meetings scheduled with the court master. And that's what we've been doing.
The bottom line, the inside scoop, township is looking solid, lukewarm, or cold right now?
Well, we've done a tremendous amount of work in the back before this started, and we
Every
feel
show
that
we
we've got
talk about it.
We've got a very solid case. We still have to wait though until we get our number that's dictated by the court, and then we have to meet our constitutional obligation, and then we'll go from there.
All right, so Mayor, you know, I know we got a lot to talk about. We have another segment with Councilwoman Kingsley's going to come on.
Right.
But what are the properties we're talking about here?
Well, we're talking about a property up on Locust, which is catty corner from the entrance to the pool.
Okay.
Okay, that's one of them. We're also talking about the King's property, which has been abandoned, as we know, for quite a while, and that would also include fortunately, it would include the movie theater. Okay, I hope to include the movie theater. Now, there may be one or two other parcels. There's Connell. The Connell group up there have some issues and some concerns about, and they've already presented some ideas. So. And they're always good to work with. They really are. So we think that we have enough out there to help us meet the needs, okay, and while at the same time, you know, having responsible development, okay, things that make this town a better place to live. So, and I thank John and Mike and our counsel, Joe Sordillo, because they've been extremely diligent in this, and it's not easy because we are being told you have to do this, and if somebody on the other side is somewhat intransigent, okay, that makes those sessions less than productive sometimes. Okay, so but it's something we need to do, and we should all thank these gentlemen for their efforts.
Well, we not only thank you, John, but we really appreciate you keeping the best interests of the township at heart. So
It's always
good job.
number one, Doc.
Oh, that's what we like to hear. Well, a lot of information, but guess not. It's not over yet. We're
Not
gonna
over
take
yet.
Another short break, and when we come back, we're going to have a different guest. Councilwoman Kingsley, talk about what's happening with the Beautification Committee and other things in town. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. The Berkeley Heights Historical Society. Get involved. Julie, how do people volunteer?
Find us on Facebook, the Historical Society of Berkeley Heights on Facebook.
Like it. And Dan, how else can they find out?
We are also on the municipal website. You just go to the municipal website and look at us, see us, click it, and join us.
You got it. Get involved, make a difference. Good job, guys. Welcome back to the show. It's the Mayor's Roundtable, semi-round table, but now 3 guests, and the most important one is the Council President, Councilwoman Kingsley. So thanks for coming out tonight.
My pleasure.
You know, but I do have a question, Mayor. We were just talking about the affordable housing. We didn't mention the Hamilton Avenue property at all. In previous shows, you mentioned Hamilton Avenue was going to be involved with redevelopment. So, I'm sorry, with affordable housing. Where does that fit in? Or does it not fit in anymore?
Absolutely fits in, Doc. And what I thought we'd do is we'd segue into this particular portion of the show. Hamilton, together with the property here on Park, as well as the library, have all been declared redevelopment. Yeah. And those are the properties that are going to be involved in what is really the most significant redevelopment, probably in the history of this town. And what will occur there, and has already been voted on by the council, is there will be a new building placed on this site. We will remain in this particular building until that is up, in which case it'll be raised, taken down, and parking. We will have a substantially more parking than we used to have. That. And what will happen also is once the transaction is completed, that the library, which is owned by the town, will go to the Little Flower. We will get the Little Flower property on Hamilton in exchange for a little over $2 million, in brick and mortar exchange. And that Hamilton property is the subject of what we hope will be a very successful redevelopment area, potentially townhouses and the like, which can serve to significantly offset the potential costs of what we're putting up down here. So they're all kind of intertwined, and the Hamilton then provides us an opportunity to capture some affordable housing.
Okay, so there will be some down
there.
There
will be. By law, you have to have a particular percentage, so we may be able to grab anywhere from 10 to 12 to 15 different units up there.
That helps.
Right, integrated with the other townhouses. So we're very excited. This council has worked extremely hard. We've had numerous public meetings. Every time that we do have a particular discussion on any topic involving redevelopment, the public is made aware, and we have them present, and we have our experts present. What I want Gene to do is this past meeting we had Mike Mistretta spoke very, very briefly about the Hamilton project, very briefly, and also kind of laid out for everybody what's ahead of us. So I don't want to be too optimistic, but I think it's reasonable to conclude that we may have this thing underway within the next 6 to 7 months. But I'd like Gene to talk a little bit about that, and let's see where we're going.
Yeah.
What's the update?
The update is, we've finished holding the public conference sessions on the 3 individual properties, and Mike Mistretta and Monsignor Harms from the church gave a presentation to the council and the public just on what redevelopment for each property would entail. We're now working on the actual plans for each site, and as those plans get developed, we're going to hold a session on Saturday, January 23rd, 2016, from 9 to 1, which will be a basic public open house, where the details of each one of the projects for the 3 properties will be presented. They'll be here on boards. And we want to talk to the public to hear their questions and take comments on their thoughts for each one of the individual projects. And it's a great way to actually see what the proposed buildings will look like, down to, what the bricks and mortar will be, colors, parking, foliage, all of that stuff. And people can really comment and participate in a longer setting where they can come for an hour with a cup of coffee and talk to the various people involved in the project.
So this is where and when again?
Here. It will be here at Town Hall Saturday, January 23rd, 9 to 1. And we just encourage, everybody to come out, because this really is the biggest thing that's going to happen to this town in 100 years. And everybody has a chance to participate in it, and we encourage people to come in and comment so that, and when we go out to bid with these properties, we're really bidding and getting what everybody as a community is looking to have.
Well, there you go. So mark your calendars, and we expect you to be there. That's
Absolutely.
Great. That's great. So a lot's going on in town. We appreciate the update, and it is about getting everybody together. Now, but you're also been very involved with the beautification committee, haven't you?
Certainly have.
So give us an update
yeah.
on that, because I know all the sidewalks are starting to look similar. I like that. I noticed that.
You know, and everybody said it couldn't be done. You know, and I said
Well, they didn't put you in charge.
It's a wonderful committee. So yes, the beautification committee has had a very busy year. One of the most important things we initiated in 2015 was there is the planning board and the board of adjustments, or the zoning board, which are the two boards that really look at all of the properties. I think people get confused in this town that everything comes in front of the council. But when somebody is changing their property, whether they're doing an addition or a modification or a new building, it goes in front of one of those two boards. And now in 2015, all of those plans that would affect downtown go to the beautification committee as well. And the beautification committee looks at them and comments them from aesthetics and appearance and structure. So it's really kind of helping to call a collective feeling for what we're trying to have in downtown. And I think you're right, we're actually seeing it. And to that, then the other big thing beautification did in 2015 is they really looked at branding. And they interviewed residents, they looked at other towns, and they've worked on what do we want Berkeley Heights to be, what's the message. If somebody wants to move here and they're going to click on our website, what is the message they want to see and what is the feel? And the committee did a great job. It's just, I think, going up on the website any minute. They presented to the council last month. But there's an icon that is really a hand-drawn portrait of the train station, which is beautiful. It was painted by Carrie Blash, a resident in town.
Wonderful.
And that will be on the Welcome to Berkeley Heights signs. And they came up with a new phrase which says, where tradition meets tomorrow, which I think really kind of captures the warmth, yet the fact that we are changing. And going forward, that will be not just on the welcome signs as you come into town, but on the website. And there'll be central colors and other things as we go forward.
Nice, nice. So that really bringing it together. I like that idea.
Yeah.
I think that'll work out real well.
Yeah.
And any updates on this CVS property? What are they thinking that's going to get going?
Well, I'm hearing a day after Christmas. And I heard that
So just
a
when
couple
this
days
airs.
ago.
There you
Just
go.
when this airs. I know they tried to get out before Christmas, but they had some issues, and we've seemed to work all them out. The light is there, and it's blinking.
I noticed
It
that.
is blinking, and that's one step
And I
before
think
working
tomorrow it's going to be
full
red,
time. There we
red,
go.
yellow, and green.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. So
Excellent.
that should be good, and I think that will work. First of all, the traffic pattern. I would ask our citizens to be patient, because I think we're going to see that there'll be a traffic pattern that will work out. We'll get those lights timed up. We're encouraging. We think that will encourage more people to walk downtown.
I was just going to say, get out of your
Right.
cars and walk. I mean, that's the
Right.
bottom line of the Winter Walk, of the
Correct.
beautification committee,
Yep.
of the new traffic patterns,
Correct.
is to bring us all together. Businesses, the community, everything, the people, the administration.
Frequent the businesses, try them out. We
Yeah.
have a lot of nice businesses in this
We
town.
got a great town, and we want to
certainly
bring
do.
that feel all the way across. So, we're winding up. It was a great year-end show. President Kingsley, do you have any last final words
No,
for
I'd like to thank the
community?
residents. I think it is a wonderful town. I think we saw at Winter Walk, there was over 2,000 people that came out. There's a really positive feel going into 2016, and hopefully we, work with us. We're going to get there, and this town is moving forward.
Mayor, year-end words from you?
I think Gene just said it. It's all about working together. You elect us, and we, try and make the right decisions, try and set responsible policy, and try and do things the right way. But if we don't have the support and we don't have the assistance of the people in this town, it's just not going to happen. And this year, I'm telling you, the last couple of years, it's really beginning to build, and I'm looking forward to 2016. I think it's going to be a great year.
It's definitely going to be a great year. Well, we couldn't ask for more than that. And it sounds like everybody's got everybody's back. And that's what Berkeley Heights should be, taking care of each other from all directions. So thank you very much. Great show. Mayor,
Happy holidays.
Thank you, Doc, and happy holiday.
happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New
Merry
Year.
Christmas.
Happy holidays. A blessed one to everybody in Berkeley Heights and watching. I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio for the Mayor's Roundtable. Have a good night.